Meghan travels Turkey. A year of finding fairy chimneys in Cappadocia. On Looking American. Posted September 16, 2013. Copyright Meghan Koshik. This morning, I got on Facebook to see an overwhelming number of posts celebrating Nina Davuluri, who happens to be the first American of Indian origin to be crowned Miss America. Several friends also shared this BuzzFeed article, which highlights a number of pretty hateful reactions from the interwebs. A pretty common theme was shock that an Indian American, a
foreigner,
had won, because
this is America.
Others referenced 9/11 and Al-Qaeda conspiracy theories and anti-Arab sentiments. And many more shared a picture of the very blonde-haired, blue-eyed Miss Kansas, who apparently makes more sense as
the real Miss America,
presumably for her stereotypically Caucasian features. This is bothering me an incredible amount, probably because in the last 3 weeks, more people than I can count have repeatedly, unendingly, persistently questioned my right to claim American as an identity. People repeatedly ask me where I'm from, but no, really where I'm from, because the answer, from California, but I went to school near Boston, is apparently not enough. And when I ask them why this simple fact is something they seem to struggle with, the consistent answer from other Fulbrighters, from bus drivers and shopkeepers and State Department officials, from an overly inquisitive man at customs, is because I don't
look American.
And at this point, I'm sick and tired of feeling like I constantly need to brandish my passport to prove my authenticity as an American. I've reached a point where I straight up avoid mentioning the 10 years I've lived in India, my dual citizenship, my unnaturally high spice tolerance, for fear that these traits, these seemingly more visible ties to a land that is not America, will somehow dilute the validity of my claim to American. In a conversation in which I spent 40 minutes ranting at the complete ignorance demonstrated by the people around me, a very well-meaning friend asked me why this matters so much. As she rightly pointed out, it's not that this is a new situation to me. All my life, I've struggled with the question,
where are you from?
Because as someone who has moved frequently between India and America with friends and love and memories in both, I don't really have an answer. And let's be clear. I am proud to be an Indian. My parents are Indian, I lived in India for several years, and when I tell people I'm visiting home in October, I mean Bangalore, not California. I go crazy over cricket games and crave fish curry and watch Bollywood and doodle henna patterns on my notebooks. I am as equally an Indian as an American and I am proud of my homeland. Therefore, it really shouldn't be such a big deal to me that people immediately identify me as Indian instead of American, right? No. It matters. It matters a lot. As much as I love Turkey, as much as I've been overwhelmed by the warmth and generosity of the people I've encountered here, it's also been painfully clear to me that as a person of color, my opinions, my ideas, and my validity as an American are continually discounted in favor of what a white person might think, or say, or do. Call it self-hate, call it a legacy of colonialism, call it plain old racism, but I tell people I'm American because people treat me differently if they believe I am not. So far, I've already heard at least 2 university officials wishing they had
the white foreigner
teaching in their departments. A shopkeeper called me
Obama
and laughed. To be fair, he did call my white companion
George W. Bush.
So I really can't determine which of us was more insulted. A fellow Fulbrighter, a white, cis, male, informed me that in the event Syrian rebels started kidnapping Americans in Turkey, they'd be more likely to take him than me, because he
looks more American
than I do. At orientation, we repeatedly heard returning Fulbrighters tell us that because
we all look American,
we'll be objects of fascination wherever we go. This is not true. When I am out with Emily, people frequently assume I am her translator or tour guide and treat me with an appropriate lack of respect. Even in the world of sexual harassment, I've witnessed my white companions being called
lovely
or
beautiful,
while my brown body gets shouts of
sexy
and
FCK me.
In short, there is a perceptible difference in how I, as a person of color, am treated, in comparison to a white person in my situation, regardless of what our passports might say. And no one talks about it. During orientation, I sat with a few other friends, all people of color, in open-mouthed disbelief, as our fellow Fulbrighters, from their places of white privilege, repeatedly made awful, racially normative statements that attempted to reduce the experiences of an incredibly diverse group to their homogenized view of white Americans in Turkey. Not one of us spoke about this in public, but oh, how we raged afterwards. In our rooms, on sunny street-side tables, inside dark bars, we raged at the fact that apparently our experiences as people of color did not seem to merit inclusion in the narrative of the Fulbright experience in Turkey. And we chose not to speak in large groups, to keep these thoughts within a sympathetic, if tiny internal community, because as one friend says,
I don't want to be seen as the angry brown woman raging about race all the time.
I am constantly made to feel by other Americans and the people around me that I need to validate my claim to American spaces, that I should walk around with my country of citizenship stamped on my forehead, that I owe someone an explanation for why my skin is so dark when my English is so good. And I'm tired of explaining, of validating, of providing evidence. I'm as American as you are, and I have every right to be here. I deserve the same level of respect as my counterparts, regardless of my skin tone. I don't owe you my life story or my genealogical history. I am as American as I am Indian, and I don't need to show you my passport to prove it.